So the first thing up, since it's right here on the workbench, some of you might spy it already, I bought me a ICOM IC706 Mark II HF VHF radio. This radio is really freaking awesome, and I enjoy this radio a lot. This radio is HF 160 through 10 meters, plus it's 2 meters, all mode on, let me back up, 160 through 10 meters, all mode, HF, 6 meters, all mode, 2 meters, all mode. This is an amazing radio. Plus, this receives 100 kilohertz, I believe, all the way up to 200 megahertz. Now, I'm listening to this radio on that antenna system. I've had this antenna system up for a couple of months now, and before I bought this radio, I started off on a shortwave receiver, and was very happy with the shortwave receiver, but I'm more happier with this. This one here don't have as much QRM as that one. This one's a little bit more better built. Really enjoy this radio. Either way, with either radio, I have been successful at receiving all of California, Oregon, Washington. I hear Idaho stations, Arizona, Canada, Alaska, Australia a few times, the East Coast, not heavily, but more here on the West Coast. I hear a lot of stations. I'm very impressed with that wire antenna. Now, we're recording in the middle of the day. It's about 2:30 my time, Pacific Standard Time, -8 GMT time. For those of you who like DX, I tell you, CBDX has just been hopping. Past couple days been dead, but man, Australia on CB, how crazy is that? I really like this radio. Can't say enough about it. There are some negatives, but maybe in a future video we'll talk about that. This radio has not been modified. I do plan on modifying that, and we will probably make a video of that. I have since purchased the mobile mounting bracket. These little guys are very expensive. They're about 70, 80 bucks. I found this for $40. Brand new, and all the mounting hardware, so I went ahead and bought that. Also going to be ordering the head on this separates, so I'm going to buy the separation kit. The bracket's going to be about another 40 bucks, and then the cable's going to be 120 bucks. I'll be trolling for that. So look for this in a future video somewhere down the road. Almost forgot to mention the price. The guy was asking $375. I offered him $350 and he took it. So I bought it, brought it home. And I've been listening to it ever since, and I really like this radio. And I can't wait to start using it. And that's something I'm sure some of you guys say, hey, Jack, I thought you said you don't have your ham ticket anymore. Well, that's true. I don't. But the wife and I have been are currently restudying for our test, and hopefully soon we will be card-carrying members of the ham radio community again. I hope so, because I have a lot of ham gear, and I'm very excited and cannot wait to use all my junk. All right, let's carry on, shall we? Okay, I bought some HTs. I paid $5 a piece for these. This one right here is a Asden AZ, oops, I guess help if you could see, an AZ61, and this is a 6 meter, that's right, 6 meter FM HT. This little guy works. Unfortunately, I don't have a battery charger for it, but if I port in through the top in the DC jack, then it fires right up and it works. I can kerchunk a couple of repeaters with this, so it is awesome. And I've also checked it with the spectrum analyzer and frequency counter, and it seems to be on par. If by chance you have or know where I can get a battery charger for this, by all means, please chime in. I definitely would like to get one. They also made a 10 meter version of this, which I guess is kind of scarce, so I'm on the lookout for that. That's a really nice radio. Again, $5. There was more on the table. I wished I would have scooped them all up if I had only known. This one right here, I'm excited about that radio, but I'm also more excited about this radio. This one is a Yaesu FT911. Very nice little radio. This one, I thought it was just, I shouldn't have played with that. I'm going back in. I thought this was just a 70 centimeter, a 440 megahertz radio. It wasn't until I got it home and juiced up the battery. This one, a little port right here that you could juice it up, that I found out what it really was. This radio is a 23 centimeter radio. That's right, boys and girls, a 1.2 gigahertz radio. It is awesome. Let's see if we kerchunk a repeater. Nope, guess so. Guess not today. Oh. Tried that again with the squelch down. So definitely does work, and there is something there. So I'm very jazzed about this radio. This is nice to have in my collection. It's my first 1.2 gigahertz 23 centimeter radio, and I'm looking forward in using that. Now this radio, they made a 2 meter and a 70 centimeter version, a 144 megahertz and 440 megahertz version. And I've been thinking about getting all three for the collection. Why not? It really is a nice radio. Fits good in the hand. I don't have it right handy, but you could still buy battery packs for this. Better yet, you can get the battery packs that take AA batteries, and so I bought one. I just don't have it right here. I think I paid $18 for it, so more than the radio. And those two radios did come with the rubber ducks. These two radios, I've been wanting one. Never had one till now. They do work, or let me rephrase that. They do power on, but they do have issues. This one here is a realistic HTX 404. This is the 70 centimeter 440 megahertz version. Came just like this, no battery, no rubber duck, but that's okay, no big deal. This one comes up with a error code 2 or something like that. Need to go in. We may make a video out of this. I can't guarantee or promise I'll be able to fix them. Worst case scenario, we'll get to open them up and tear them up and check out their guts and things like that. I think what that error means is might be the internal battery is bad, and that might be the fix. This one right here is a realistic HTX 202. This is the 2 meter 144 megahertz radio. Same thing, came as is, as you see it. This one also does come up with a error code. This one here I was able to do a keystroke and got past it, but once I turned the radio off, the error code came back, and now I'm unable to get past it. This one, unable to get past the error code. We might have faulty components. Don't know how well my eyeballs will be at ripping and tearing, but that's what we'll do, rip and tear. $5, I'm out, nothing. I've gained experience, if nothing else. So very happy, very excited with that. Alright, next up are Turner microphones. Now, I commented in my last ham swap video that I personally prefer Turner microphones over static products. I find static microphones to be splatter boxes, where these have a little bit more better tonal quality, and you don't have that splatter. That's not to say you can't over deviate or over modulate. You definitely can. You just sound more classier doing it. No. So this one here is a Turner Plus 3. I think I'd have to check my video, check my stock, but I think I bought a couple of these last go around. These are just really cool microphones, really classy. And this one here is a Turner Super Sidekick. This one's a little loose in the head, so I'll tear that apart sometime and fix that. I doubt that'll be a video, unless you really want a video. So look at that. I mean, ain't that a nice, attractive microphone? Can't go wrong with it. Back in the day, I used to have a Super, was it the Super 500 or whatever it is, the really big fancy one with the meter there and everything. Don't have one of those anymore. Should have kept it, but I got rid of it. And I'm looking for one of those. So hopefully soon I could report that I have one. QSL. Or for those of you that aren't ham operators, don't know what QSL means, let's break it down in CB lingo. 10-4. Over and out. Over and out. Anyway, I can't remember if I mentioned what I paid for these. I paid $5 each. Awesome. One thing about the static microphones, even though I do not like Lollipop static products, I do buy them. In fact, I do have 3 Lollipops in my collection. I don't like them, I don't use them, but they sell very well, and that's the only reason why I buy them, to resell them. Alright, so next up we have a Kenwood TM2570 Alpha. Now, if you watch my last Hamfest video, you saw that I bought one very similar to this. the difference between these two radios is that radio only did 35 watts. This one is the high power version of that. It's 70 watts. I paid $10 for this. This one came with the mounting bracket. I think the other one did as well. And came with MFJ microphone. Does not operate the radio. It's not wired correctly, but it came with the little microphone. Do you know what MFJ stands for? That's right, Mighty Fine Junk. Back a long time ago, when I was a ham operator, I used to run these radios. I had the 2 meter and the 220 version of this radio. Never had the 440, but they did make them in 3 flavors, and maybe one day I might decide to collect all 3 again. They're really cool radios. I like them. Unfortunately, like most older radios, they are starting to become dated, and everything today is starting to go digital, but there are analog stuff that's still available, and you could still use these radios. You know, maybe your community is not so high tech as bigger metropolitans, and you're still predominantly analog gear. Or maybe you're just a simplex kind of person and you want to run simplex. There's absolutely nothing wrong with these older radios for simplex or even packet. And I do plan on running one of these for packet. As we saw last year, I think it was, I purchased a TNC, terminal node controller, and I have plans of putting that in line. And I'll figure out which radio I'm going to use it on with. Now you'll notice this radio has a control sticking out of the top here. That, believe it or not, is not factory. What happened apparently was the on-off volume control, the volume part apparently stopped voluming. And so instead of trying to source another part, we just went ahead and drilled a hole through the case, because why not? And put a control up there for the volume. Goofy, I know. Otherwise, the radio appears to work. I say appears. I've hooked it up to power, hooked it up to my dummy load, and tried to screwdriver the hot pins to make it key up, and I was not successful. So I'm going to have to break down and wire up a microphone and do that, or actually dig out my other Kenwood that has the microphone, which would probably be a lot easier, plug it in on it and see if that works. Now here's something that I'm also really excited to have in my collection. This is a RCA CRM-P3A-5. And what this is a 23 channel CB radio. I believe it's 23. Well, actually it goes a little higher than 23. And so what we have is I think it's 4 channels, 8 channels fixed, crystal. I really don't know. So we got number 1 through 4, 1 through 4. Anyway, it takes crystal controlled for the transmit, and then for the receive we have a VFO, and looking at the VFO, the highest number it displays is 27.3 megahertz. So that's channel 30 on modern CB. Now this radio dates to 1961, So that was long before CB radio was authorized to use 23 channels, I believe. I don't think we were able to go 23 until mid-60s. I could be wrong. Fact check me. In fact, I'll fact check me. I wouldn't trust me if I were you. I don't. The dial goes further on up, so I'm not sure how far it'll actually receive. It may receive the full 40 channels. As far as low, it goes, lowest digit it shows is 26.9. Channel 1 for CB is 26.965, and it goes further than that. So it definitely has a span to it. Also forgot to mention the nomenclature. It is a Mark 567, Mark 7. We have squelch, and we have volume on off, speaker, and then the microphone. This did not come with a microphone, did not come with a mic plug, did not come with a power cord. I had to order, I found microphone that just so happened to have a mic plug on it. Now here's my question to you, for those that might know. What is this mic plug called? I got lucky at finding this because I was searching for what was it, 5-pin vintage 5-pin DIN mic jacks, and the guy had this listed as microphone with odd connection on it, or connector, or something like that. And so I took a chance, and I paid the $12 and I bought it. And so I just want it for this, but temporarily this will work. I'm looking for the microphone that originally came with this. It'd be awesome to have the complete set. This was also designed for AC or DC use. This does have a transformer inside, and depending on the plug that you used would depend on whether you're using it for 120 or for 12 volts. So yes, this did come with a mobile mounting bracket, which I did not get neither. And the mobile bracket went here. This radio is a heavy little radio. Built like a Sherman tank. So as you can see, it takes a Cinch Jones connector, an 8-pin. I have since bought one of these. If you've never bought a Cinch Jones connector before, be prepared to break out the big money. I think just for the plug itself, I paid $20. We have a SO239 connector. This did sport a tag and a serial number tag. Unfortunately, as you see, mine is lost to history. And I paid $5 for it. What a bargain. Yeah? Oh yeah, yeah. This will be a video. Probably will be a long-winded series video. But it will be a video. Looking forward to it indeed. Over. Breaker. Yeah, break 1.9 for a truck. Come on. Bring it on.